Let's be real, the new year hasn't even started yet, and for some reason, it already feels overwhelming. You have goals to set, a budget to stick to, and you have kids' schedules to juggle. And yet, you're probably wondering, how am I supposed to keep up with all of this? I mean, seriously. And you're not alone, moms. I promise. You're definitely not alone on this. Today, we're going to reset the pressure and create a realistic plan that you can keep up with and your kids can join in as well. Welcome back to my channel. For anyone that is new here, I'm Karina Ray, and thank you for joining. So today we're going to discuss preparing for the new year without being overwhelmed. So first, we're going to recognize the overwhelms. So as working parents, we carry this unspoken layer of new year pressure. And it's not just goals, it's adjusting to our family routines. And for those of you who have kids and after school activities, we know how much those change as well. The work expectations, we all know that definitely doesn't slow down, especially at the beginning of the year because it's a new fiscal year. And we all know everyone has this whole new projection of how they want the year to start. And we all want to meet those goals before the quarter even ends. And the pressure's already starting before you're walking back in the building on the first day back. The tight budgets, especially if you potentially overspent during the holidays, the invisible mental load, especially balancing everything with everything that you do day in and day out, especially trying to create a fresh start for everyone but yourself. So all of those things carry a total of overwhelm before you even realize it. For some of us, this is more strenuous than it was planning for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Dealing with all this, just keep in mind you are definitely not behind, you're not failing, you're just overwhelmed, moms. Overwhelm is definitely a sign of doing too much and not too little. So today I would like to share the method that I've recently tried called the 3 bucket reset method, which definitely has changed how I approach each new year. So it's been helpful for me when I've been setting my own goals and making sure that they're attainable and realistic, and that is also manageable for me. So bucket number one is what actually matters this year. So so after writing down all your goals, you want to choose 3 to 5 max that actually matter to you, that makes a difference. You don't want to go all super mommy mode all at once to use up all your energy at once. You want to take your time in doing this. And I say that because we don't want to get overwhelmed. That's the goal here, not to get overwhelmed. Our goal is to ease ourselves into these goals and not burn ourselves out so quickly. So make sure when you are choosing your goals that they make a difference, that they're really important to you. And also, if all of your goals are based to your family, make sure you at least choose 1 to 2 goals that stand out for you so that way you're including some form of self care for yourselves this year, moms. Moving on to bucket number two, what supports those goals? So, whatever the goals that you chose, you want to make sure you're staying on top of your goals to make sure that you complete them. So, in doing that, you want to make sure you are creating weekly habits, having simple routines, and even doing so much as having a shared family calendar. So you're making your kids feel engaged, they're involved, you're creating goals of their own in this, and they're learning skills from this moment as well. So it's a family fun thing at that point, and also you can have them track these things with you. And hey, you might even be able to complete those goals even faster. You never know. Bucket number three, what needs to be cut, is where overwhelm goes to disappear. So, also, what goes in this bucket is your old expectations, too many commitments, and the idea that January or any other day has to be perfect because I feel like that's unnecessary stress you're putting upon yourself. Because at the end of the day, not everything works for everybody. And you need to make sure you're setting realistic things that's going to work for you. So, in saying that, moms, ask yourself, can any of the tasks that you wrote down be broken down and completed now if I gave myself more space? Sometimes overwhelm disappears when we stop trying to do everything in one day. And another way you can look at this is trying to turn those goals into mini wins instead of trying to do everything all at once. Again, like I said, or everything on this deadline, break them down into those mini wins and make it more realistic for you. Instead of creating huge resolutions, kind of taper it back down a little bit. Because I feel like a lot of times that's what we do, especially going into the new year, especially going into the gym. A lot of people will say they're going to have these high expectations for themselves. And it's definitely short lived because there's those goals, they're unrealistic goals, and no one's actually stepping back and saying, how can I make it work for me? Instead, we're going to try monthly things for ourselves to keep ourselves engaged. We're going to do weekly wins to also keep ourselves engaged and say, for instance, if you are the person that says, hey, I need to lose X amount of pounds in this amount of time. So instead of quitting to do something cold turkey, maybe start slowly cutting back on things to do it and be realistic about it instead of being so hard on yourself because hey, you're slowly creating a habit, you're creating a simple routine, you're going about it in a realistic time that works for you. A lot of times people stop doing things cold turkey and it becomes a bigger habit than what it was before. It's definitely something you might want to keep in mind at the end of the month of January when you might be struggling with motivation and keeping up with the task to complete your goals. So if you have goals that are focused around budgeting, something that you can do for that is maybe rotate 5 low cost meals throughout the week, or maybe within a 2 week span to kind of cut back on cost. Maybe create a family savings jar, even planning your kids' monthly expenses. This is something I'm just learning to do because my kids are just out doing sports. Maybe cancel or replace one subscription that you have that maybe you're not using as much, or maybe you can go without. These small changes can definitely add up. It can definitely go to a small family trip or even another family field day for something different. Who knows, depending on what your expenses look like. One fun thing that you can actually do, which I think has been helpful for me in my household, is having a family accountability system. So we have each family member pick one goal for January. And upon doing this, we actually put it on we have a huge dry erase board. We write it on the dry erase board, and I actually set the reminder in my phone and try to track it and see if we actually complete it by the due date. And I actually check in with the kids like, hey, we're getting close, we need to do it. And I try to make it fun, and I mark it on the board like, hey, so many days, or put stickers like, hey, we are getting so much closer. We completed this little thing, this, or we completed this mini win to get this much closer to that goal, just to make it fun and get them engaged. And that has definitely been helpful for them and for me. And they actually like to pick with me to make sure I keep up with my goals too. So it makes it fun. It keeps us all engaged, like I said, and it's definitely helpful. And remember, power is definitely not perfection, it's an ownership. So, moms, you definitely deserve a fresh start that supports you, that doesn't overwhelm you. Moms, you're definitely not doing this alone. I'm right here with you. I love to hear in the comments some of the goals that you have in mind. As always, moms, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you soon, moms. Bye.